Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Jake. This is Press to Play, and a little over a week ago, we got a Direct Mini, and they announced that an ARMS character was coming to Smash. Now, that got me really excited, and so I've been wanting to talk about it. I've been trying to find the time, and so I got my buddy Forrest back on here. You guys have seen him on Jake the Human's channel. You saw him early on Press to Play, but he's back now. Forrest, thanks for being here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. You don't get to see me, get to hear me from the safety of my own apartment, but things are going good.
Yes, we are all very much social distance lockdowning ourselves, but luckily we have the internet that we can still do this kind of stuff. So I'm really excited to talk about this. Forrest, I gave my reaction on camera to the news of ARMS coming to Smash. When you watched the Direct, what did you think about it? How did you feel about the announcement?
It was very just like, oh yeah, by the way, it's going to be just one of these characters. It was just very blatant, just like, oh, there was no hype behind that. But they left a mystery to let everybody sit on the internet and talk about it and think about it. The rest of the Direct I enjoyed, but yeah, the announcement wasn't as exciting as I was hoping for. I'm just glad that they did announce something during it.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say I was expecting an announcement in that Direct, because I wasn't expecting the Direct at all. But when they did drop the Direct, you know, I was like, okay, we're getting our first Smash Fighter Pack 2 character. Didn't know who it was going to be, but I was excited to see what they did. And as soon as that Smash came up, I was like, oh my god, it's happening. Are they going to show it? Heard the music, and I was like, oh my god, it's ARMS. And I kind of started freaking out and getting really excited. And then I was kind of taken aback by their sort of way of doing it, where they're like, this is the series it's coming from, because they've never, in the history of the series, I can't think of a single time where they didn't just announce the character. They announced the series in advance. So I thought that was a really interesting way to, you know, I don't know, temper expectations maybe. I think after Byleth, you know, we've talked about it on this channel before, Forrest, where having 4 massive third-party characters and then ending on Byleth, that was a misstep, I think, and I think they want to temper those expectations in advance. And it also makes me wonder, and I'm curious how you feel about this, do you think this fighter pack is going to be much more first-party IP focused for Nintendo?
Yeah, so that's what really made me think about it, is because they ended with Byleth, I thought they would start off kind of replacing that with a third-party character, not the direction they went. So it's kind of up in the air what the rest of it's going to look like. I'm hoping they go third party, because Nintendo has a lot of representation for a lot of their different series. So I'm hoping that there are a couple hopefuls that I have for the rest of the fighter pack, and not a lot of them are Nintendo exclusives or Nintendo properties.
Yeah, I mean, you unfortunately you missed our character wish list video discussion, but there were very few first-party characters were talked about at all. So I think we're all going to have to kind of temper our expectations a little bit. I think ARMS is a really interesting choice. I loved that game. I remember you were over at our place when they did the first Test Punch, and we played that. Kind of fell in love with it. Saw a little bit of it at E3 when we went. And then when it came out, I got sucked in. I know my wife and I really... We played every single campaign for every single character, and we got all the ARMS, and I loved that game, and I gave it a glowing review. And back on Jake the Human's channel, I also said in my Smash Wishlist video then that I wanted Springman or Ribbon Girl. Once Springman ended up as an assist trophy in this game, I'm like, okay, I get it, ARMS is new, it's not happening. So to see it here got me really excited. I think there's a lot of potential here, and I'm excited to see kind of what characters you think it's going to be. So, do you have any other thoughts about the announcement itself for it?
No, I don't think so. Announcement was fine. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just jump into who this might actually be. Because the thing is, instead of normal Smash speculation where we say it could be one of thousands of potential characters, right? We know it's down to one of 15 characters. Yep. So we've got Springman, Ribbon Girl, Ninjara, Master Mummy, Min Min, Mechanica, Twintel, Bite and Bark, Kid Cobra, Helix, Max Brass, Lollipop, Misango, Springtron, and Dr. Coil. Now that obviously includes all of the DLC characters, but there's 15 possible contenders here. Now, I would take those 15 and I can narrow it down to probably 3 or 4 that I think it's going to be. But let's start with who we're hoping it's going to be. So, out of those 15 characters for us, if you had to pick one that you're kind of, 1 or 2 that you're hoping for more than the others to show up, what would those characters be?
Yeah, hopeful. That's a good place to start. Well, my main on that game was Bite and Bark. So deep down, I really want Bite and Bark to work out, because it would be interesting to see how it'd work out in Smash with. It's kind of like a Rosalina and Luma type thing, is what I'm thinking. I'm also a big fan of Mechanica. I think she's very cool. I have a soft spot for, mech characters with women piloting them in the, diva, basically, from Overwatch. So if I can't have that, at least, Mechanica would be nice. So one of those 2 are my biggest hopefuls.
Okay, yeah, no, that's cool. And I knew you were going to say Bite and Bark, because I remember how many times that stupid dog punched me in the face when we were playing together. I'm like, I hate that dog. But I know Bite and Bark was kind of your go-to, so I sort of figured that was going to be your number 1. Now, one thing, and I talked about this in the last discussion as well, and I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to it, but one of the things that a lot of people have noticed, and I think Nintendo has kind of heard, is that people were hoping for a female fighter to show up in the last Fighter Pass, and no one really did, other than Byleth's alternate skin, right? So one thing I'm really hoping for is more female fighters, so I really want this to be one of the female fighters, which narrows my 15 possible to 6, and I think out of those 6, I would want to see Twintelle or Ribbon Girl. Those 2 are my mains, and honestly my favorite overall characters as well, personality, backstory, and everything like that. And I think they both have really interesting air abilities. Twintelle's got that hover ability she can do, and Ribbon Girl has a bunch of multiple jumps, which might make them stand out a little bit more as far as, like, Smash is concerned, because air combat can be a real make-or-break thing in Smash. If I had to pick one of those 2, I'd say Ribbon Girl. She's my number 1 go-to, and I love her design. I love her whole pop star motif. I think she's just super awesome. So those are my 2 that I'm really hoping for. Ribbon Girl more than the others. I had a Ribbon Girl shirt and everything for a while. Yep. Love Ribbon Girl. So those are the 2 that I'm hoping for the most, and I don't think they're unlikely, but we'll get into that in a second. Do you have anything you want to talk about else, or otherwise, talking about kind of hopes and wishes for this character?
Hopes? I guess I can kind of work it into what I think is going to happen, or, well, I don't know. I knew you were going to go with Twintelle for one of them for sure. So she was definitely
gotta go with Twintelle.
Yeah, your favorite. I hated fighting against her when we were playing as her. But my other hopeful is, and they might go this route, because in Smash Bros. 4 for 3DS and Wii U, Little Mac had 16 skins. They haven't done that in Ultimate. They narrowed them down to 8, so maybe it's got the same moveset and just it's all palette swapped for all the characters with space for another, but who knows? That
would be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And part of me thinks that's totally possible. It's going to be a character from ARMS. What character is it going to be? All of them, right? That would kind of blow everyone's mind. My only question about that is, like, if you take Master Mummy's size versus Ribbon Girl's size, Master Mummy would have to shrink down, otherwise Ribbon Girl is looking really gigantic, right? I just don't know how you work in those different size differences while staying true to what the character is. Is Master Mummy still as big and scary as he is if he's 5 feet tall? I don't know, maybe. But I think that would be really, really cool to have everyone's favorite characters in there. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that was a lot of their... I mean, it's a fair concern about the sizing, and I think that's what kept them away from doing Ridley in Smash for so long. So they've shown that they can do it, but, palette swapping all of them would probably be a lot of work. So it's just another one of my hopefuls is that everybody gets in.
I would love it. That would be amazing. Because, yeah, I mean, all of the characters, that game has such charming characters and incredible character design. That was one of the shining things for me about that game, is like the quality of the character design. So I'd love to see all of them, and, you know, even if we do just get the one character that shows up, I'm positive we're going to see a bunch of cameo appearances in the background of all the other characters, too. I would be shocked if it was otherwise, other than maybe Springman, because he's an assist trophy. So, I mean, that's kind of stuff we want. Now let's focus in on, you know, take that out of the equation, take our personal bias out of it. Who do we actually think it's going to be looking at the situation? So, Forrest, I'm going to let you start on this one. Who do you think, out of all 15 characters, who are the most likely characters to you?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Since, you know, Springman was an assist trophy, I don't know if they would throw him in at all, because if they do, that would mean other assist trophies have a possibility of being in the game. Looking at you, Waluigi, please. But yeah, Ribbon Girl's the other poster child. High chance that it's probably going to be her, or even Min Min. I think that a lot of fans have expressed, you know, love for her character and her design, which even I love. Very cool character. So I would think if I had to pick one or two, it's probably going to be Ribbon Girl or Min Min.
Well, yeah. I mean, I totally agree. I legitimately do think it comes down to really. I narrowed it down to 4 legitimate choices that I think are very, very likely. I think Nintendo will choose a female for the first one, just to kind of quell that whole itch that some people have, myself included, because I've seen a lot of that online. Is, you know, is this one going to be a female? No, is this one going to be a female? And there wasn't any, so I think starting off with an awesome, iconic first-party female character, and that game has a lot of them, I think it's a really good move. So I think it's going to be one of them, and I think it'll come down to one of the original ones. I don't think we're going to get Lollipop or Dr. Koyo or anything, because those came much later.
Yeah.
So that leaves us Ribbon Girl, Twintelle, Mechanica, and Min Min. Now, I know you want Mechanica. I don't think it's really good. I doubt it's going to be Mechanica, because, you know, she's not quite as iconic or well-known as some of the other ones are. And I really think, you know, ARMS did well. There's kind of a misconception out there that ARMS just kind of bombed. It did okay. You know, it wasn't blockbuster, but it did all right. And so if they want to bring more, you know, stuff into that IP and explain what it is, I think they're going to want to do and play up the whole genetic mutation that gives them a stretchy ability kind of thing. Yeah. So that's why I don't think Mechanica's quite going to be there. So we got Ribbon Girl, Twintelle, or Min Min then. I think it's going to end up being Ribbon Girl, which I said is the number one that I wanted, but I really do think it's going to be her. You know, next to Springman, she is kind of the other face of the game. She's actually the one punching him in the face on the cover art. So she's kind of the front and center one. You know, she was one of the first 2 characters announced, the other one being Springman. So I think she's a really popular character. She's the face of the game. She really has a shot. And they also imply kind of throughout that she's the one who actually sings like the theme song and stuff. So I think it could totally be her. She's got a big role in it. I find her to be the most likely. But like you pointed out too, Min Min is a huge, huge fan favorite as well. And she's got super cool abilities too. You know, she's got her kicks that nobody else in that series can do kicks. And she's got her giant dragon arm that could come into play somehow. So there's some pretty interesting things that they could work into a Smash moveset with her. And another thing that I noticed is, because I kind of fell off ARMS after a little while before the Party Crash thing ever happened, but they had a Party Crash where it was basically, you know, the different characters, as you played the different characters, the more people that won, that character moved up. And at the end of that whole tournament, Min Min came out on top. Min Min won the Party Crash. And as we saw with Splatoon, Nintendo has in the past used a big, huge, community-based character versus character tournament to make massive, massive decisions for the series moving forward. So, like, you know, Callie lost in the, what do they call the Splatoon ones? I'm totally blanking. Splatfest. The Splatfest versus Marie, and all of a sudden the next game, Callie was missing from the game, and that was the whole story. So, maybe Min Min won the Party Crash and earned her place in Smash. I don't know. But I think that would be a cool angle to play up in a trailer. You know, maybe she's standing there with her trophy or her ribbon or whatever, and then Mario shows up. I don't know. But I think Min Min has a really good chance as well. So those are my most likely ones. I'd love to see Twindell. I'd love to see Min Min. And I mostly want to see Ribbon Girl, and I do think it's going to be Ribbon Girl. Is there anyone else for us that you can think of that you think has a remote chance?
They could just throw a curveball at us and just throw Helix in there.
Helix he was one of the first ones revealed, and he's super weird. Everybody knows weird. Helix.
Yeah, he's a weird character. I think people kind of latch onto that kind of thing as the weird out of the ordinary ones. Yeah, I think those either Ribbon Girl or Min Min have the best shot still.
You know, if they did decide to go with a male character, there's one that I just thought of that I think actually does stand a pretty good chance. And that is Max Brass. Now, he wasn't playable at first, but he was kind of the final boss of every single character's route. So, if you've ever played that game, you end up fighting Max Brass. You know who Max Brass is. And if they wanted to go with a more, like, heavy power type character, I think it would be way better to choose Max Brass over, like, Master Mummy or Masango or something. So, yeah, I could totally see Max Brass kind of showing up as well, but I doubt it.
It's been a while since they did a heavy character, so it's possible.
Yeah, they didn't do any heavy characters throughout the whole DLC Fighter Pack 1.
Yeah, so I think the only additions they had in this game that I can think of are King K. Rool and Ridley for the new game. So,
and it's in a row.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is heavy.
Other than that, though, I can't think of any.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's totally possible. I do think it's going to be Ribbon Girl, though. That's my vote. That's my prediction. I'm going with Ribbon Girl. What's your final prediction so we can see if we're right whenever this thing comes around in June?
If it's not all of them, I'm going to lock in Min Min.
Min Min, okay. So I got Ribbon Girl, you got Min Min. In June, when this thing is revealed, let's get back on here and talk about what we actually ended up seeing.
Sounds good.
So beyond that, you know, we got Ribbon Girl and Min Min. Those are our picks that we think are going to be in it. Let's talk about how this character might work, because ARMS is a weird game that is going to be really interesting in a Smash setting. So, like, I wanted to start with Final Smashes, because there's only two things I can possibly think of, and that's Headlock, you know, the big metal thing with the 6 arms that come out.
Yep.
I could totally see that being a Final Smash, because it can go on anybody. You know, it's an item in one of the modes, so anybody could get Headlock. I think it could be kind of cool. Or every single character in ARMS has the Rush Attack. Now, I feel like it's going to be the Rush Attack, but I really I want it to be cool. You know, I want it to be you have to hit with it, and then it kind of does a really cool cinematic type thing, because those are the Final Smashes that I think are the coolest ones. I don't want them to jump to the side of the stage and start punching the whole half of the screen.
Yeah, like a Mario ult.
Yeah, it's boring. I want to see something really cool and exciting. So if they do the Rush Attack, which I think they're going to, I'd like them to do a cinematic one, but my money is on they're going to jump to the side of the screen and punch everything. What do you think? Can you think of anything else that could be a Final Smash type move for whoever this character is?
Yeah, no, it would totally make sense just to do the that Rush Attack. It basically wrote itself into the game, and then it translates really well into Smash. I forgot about the Headlock. It's been so long since I played ARMS, so that it's still a possibility. Otherwise, you know, I don't know, a Mega Man style Final Smash.
Oh, that would be cool.
Team up with a couple of them or all of them and just punch.
That would be really cool, because they did have, you know, they had the 2-on-2 fight mode in ARMS where you could do, you know, duos.
Yep.
So that would be pretty cool if they called in a partner for an attack. I would really like that. I wonder if that could even be like a special or something, but we'll get into that. as far as other stuff, I'm very curious how they're going to play, because obviously they're going to have massive, insane, ridiculous range. I think they're going to be way longer than Corrin, way longer than Richter, maybe about Richter Simon length. They're going to have that kind of crazy reach. But I think because changing the arms or the gloves, that's why it's called arms, it's such an integral part of that game that I think whatever character it is will have multiple arms. And I only see two ways of doing it. I think you either have, 3 set arms, 3 or 4 separate different arms that you can get, and they're just locked to specific directions of the side special. So maybe, neutral B is the fire toaster, right? Up B is the boomerang or the umbrella or something, right? So you'd have them locked to whatever direction it is.
Yeah.
Or I could see them doing it a Pokemon trainer style, where you have 3 sets of arms and your down special changes them, and it kind of switches your attributes along with it. So that's kind of how I'm expecting this character to play, is one of those two things. What do you think about those options, and can you think of any other way that you think an ARMS character could be implemented?
Yeah, there's not a lot of other ways that I think it would work well in the game, and that's what I was thinking is they could do it just, neutral special is one move, side is a different, but it kind of limits you. I think they will go with the kind of Pokemon trainer or even a Shulk type thing as you move between them. I don't think you're going to be able to have separate arms, like left arm is one and right arm is another.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, I would think that they're locked together. So I would actually hope it would be that way, because then it gives you kind of more control and more play style for how you want to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's kind of what I'm hoping for too. And the thing that's so cool about that is there's so many options you could pick from, and I don't think they're going to do all of them. You've got the boomerang ones that curve, and you've got the boxing gloves, and you got the hammer, and the ones that shoot multiple, and missiles, and whips, and nunchucks, and shields.
Yeah.
They'll probably pick 3. I really think it's not going to be more than 3. But I'm really curious to see what they do with the attributes too, because that was another big thing, is every arm had a different attribute. So there's fire, electric, wind, explosions, poison, ice. There's a lot of different options there that they could choose from. So I'm really curious to see what they do. I mean, is it a random one every time with just a style? I'm very curious, because there's so many options they can do for an ARMS character, because of how every match starts with you picking which gloves you want to wear. It's such a customizable series and fights. So I think that's the way they're going to go, but we'll see. I don't know. I think it could be really cool.
I'm looking here at a list of all the arms from the game. Everybody has a couple that are specific to them. So it would be... there's so many in the game. There's so many. It's cool that there's different brands and everything, but it could be like a Game & Watch, his hammer thing, where it just... it gives you a random number. This could give you a random arm, depending on kind of just whatever when you use it.
Yeah, so maybe you hit down B and you get the boxing glove ones, and one time they're fire, and then you cycle through them, next time they're ice, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. I would love that. And, Smash is... A lot of us, myself included, like to be really competitive with it. But a little bit of randomness is fun, and, trying to play around that, too, can be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a pretty solid guess. Sounds like we're both kind of on the same page there. Any other kind of thoughts or ideas on how whoever this is might play?
No, that's about it. Unless we're jumping into the, I don't know, what you think their specials are going to be.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it could depend on whatever character it is. Like you said, they do have 3 default arms. Min Min has that dragon arm that shoots a beam. Ribbon Girl has the slapping one, right? And the Party Popper. So those are vastly different things that could totally determine, just depending on what character they pick.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I couldn't think of really any moves besides, I guess, their up B could just be them extending their arms to grab the stage or something. Or if they do make it a specific, then who knows?
I hope if it's a specific, but it's going to be extending to reach the thing, and that is my least favorite up special because I screw it up every time. I can't do it. So I think that's a pretty solid guess, though. I'm going to be shocked if we see something other than just those kind of two options that we talked about.
Yeah.
But we just got like a month and a half or so, maybe 2 months to wait. So I'm excited. The last thing I want to touch on is stages, because I think stages could go in a couple different directions. The most obvious direction, though, is luckily, again, ARMS fits really well into Smash with moveset potential and characters and stuff. But stages as well, because every single character has their own stage that's kind of their home ring.
Yep.
So I think the most likely thing is if it's Ribbon Girl, you're going to get the Ribbon Ring. If you get Min Min, you're going to get the Ramen Bowl. If it's Twintelle, you get the movie theater area with all the cars, which I think would be a really lame stage. But, I mean, we picked Ribbon Girl and Min Min. I would love to see the Ribbon Ring with all of the, like techno colors and music and Ribbon Girl's song playing in the background and the platforms kind of going up and down. I think that'd be really cool. And Min Min's Ramen Bowl, too, I could totally see it kind of like Green Hill Zone, where it's got that dip in the middle and kind of two platforms on either side.
Oh, yeah.
I could totally see either of those working as a stage. Can you think of any other stages, or do you think it's just going to be whatever character it is, they're just going to pull that stage and turn it into a Smash stage?
Yeah, I feel like it's probably going to go that direction. It would be too intricate to try to decide, because the only stages in the game are character-specific stages. It's kind of like all the other fighting. It works in Smash really well when you have a fighting character from a different game move over.
Yeah.
It's like when they added Ryu and Ken, like their stage, it was perfect in Street Fighter, and then they move it in Smash. So yeah, I think it's going to be depending on whatever character it is, or they may just go with Spring Stadium because it's just kind of the neutral, just the default one.
They could very well. They could absolutely do that. I think Spring Stadium or what's Max Brass's stage? I don't remember what it's called.
Sky Arena.
Sky Arena. I think either of those, like you start at this one, you end at this one. I think either of those that you kind of hit every time could totally be in it as well. Yep. I think the spring arena with the bouncing pads makes a lot of sense too. More than the Sky Arena. I think Sky Arena would be real boring, other than it looks cool.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even look as cool as something like Ribbon Ring, so I doubt that's going to be it.
True. As long as it's not Ninja College. I hated that one.
Oh my god. Me too.
The worst.
Somebody would have the high ground and be like, it's over! The guy down below on the left side of the screen, you underestimate my power.
You underestimate my boomerang arm.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, let's hope not. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about Ninjara, really. I like Ninjara. He's a really cool character. But I doubt he's going to be the one to get in.
Yeah, they already got Greninja, who's already very ninja-like.
Very similar. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm kind of tapped out on any ideas for ARMS. I think we kind of covered it all. Do you have any other outstanding ideas or thoughts or feelings about ARMS being in Smash?
No, I'm excited to see it. Glad one of those games this game in particular is getting representation. Hopefully some other ones that I've been hoping for do get thrown into. I'm just excited for that announcement, and 2 months is too far.
It is. I mean, I'm glad we at least have a date to look at now, that we can say that's when it's going to show up. And we know what to expect, too. It's going to show up, and we're going to figure out if it's Ribbon Girl or Min Min. Or somebody else, and we're both wrong. But I doubt it. All right, man. Well, yeah, I'm tapped out. You're tapped out. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited, though. Like I said, I love the game. I'm hoping they do an ARMS 2, and I mean, maybe this is kind of an inclination that they're testing the waters to see if people are going to be hyped about an ARMS 2. I would love it, but that's a discussion for another day. That's it, man. So I want to thank you for being here again. I love having you on, you know, having discussions like this. We'll do plenty more in the future. And like I said, if you're up for it, come June, whenever this thing drops, we'll get on that night and talk about what we saw.
Sounds good. I'm totally in for that. Appreciate you having me on.
All right, thanks a lot, man. So how about you guys? What characters do you think it's going to be? What characters do you want it to be? What kind of stages are you expecting to see? What could that final smash be other than a rush attack? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up by hitting that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to be the first to know when I upload a new video. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PressToPlayOK. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye.